All right, I'm done. Reminds me of my childhood. My dad loved ordering from the local Cuban restaurant, and then my friend Alex showed me how to do it. So, love you, Alex. Miss cooking and hanging out with you all the time. Now, let's show you how to make it. Okay, here's the next episode in Budget Meals for Biden's Economy. Today we're going to be making Cuban black beans, and all I have is 1 pound of anybody's cheapest black beans. These have already been quickly sorted through and rinsed. Black beans is not a bean. It's the only bean that I don't recommend soaking overnight and letting the water go, because you will lose all the blackness of the bean, and it really doesn't require it. So now I'm going to leave it just like this, no aromatics yet. We're gonna let this come to a simmer and a boil, and then we're gonna skim it, and then we'll start adding the rest of the ingredients. Okay, this is what I mean by skimming. I'm not using my skimmer today because my daughter says not everybody has a skimmer. So I'm just gonna take off this frothy part. There's not a lot of it. Try not to get the beans. As a matter of fact, let me put that back in, and then just gently get the foam out. I've got 3 tablespoons of oil cooking, and now I have 1 heaping tablespoon of oregano. You cannot be without it. All I did was run it through my fingers, take out the stem. The garlic cloves, about 8 cloves of garlic, 1/2 of a white onion, 2 small bell peppers. If you are on a super budget, I guess you could use 1. 2 bay leaves, a little bit of cumin is gonna be about a teaspoon. I grated mine, but just buy your regular cumin. And then we're gonna use a little bit of red wine vinegar. You can use white vinegar. All right, in my 3 tablespoons of oil, I'm going to saute this. This is gonna be the main flavoring of our Cuban black beans. Of course, along with the oregano. This is just gonna be the wet aromatics. It's gonna be a vegan recipe. It's not gonna contain any meat or meat products. You know, this is where you're gonna get your flavor. And then if you end up making rice with beans, or my kids were saying beans on toast, or breakfast taco, or whatever you're gonna do with it, you really just want the aromatic flavors of these fresh peppers. But all right, we don't want the onions and the bell peppers to get too small or brown. So then the next thing is add all of the garlic and stir until it's aromatic. And then I'm gonna go grab the dry seasoning, which is the oregano and the bay leaf and the cumin. Okay, bay leaf and oregano in. It smells so good. Shout out to my boy, an excellent chef, Alex. Alex is the one that showed me how to make Cuban black beans. Okay, now that I'm starting to smell the oregano, everything just kind of popping, I want all of this flavor to stay in the beans. So I'm gonna transfer everything that you see in this pan into my pot of beans, and then I'll add the cumin last. All right, look at how nice that looks. So that's all, everything that you just saw. You need that oil for that added just richness. Add whatever oil you can afford. I don't recommend seed oils. I know they're inexpensive. All right, I'm serving my beans with rice. So I'm using 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of water. and I'm actually just putting it in my rice cooker. You could just do the exact same thing in a pot. If you're putting it in a pot, just cook your, boil your 4 cups of water before you add your rice. So what I really wanted to show you is that when it says 2 to 1, so if it's 2 cups, you don't have a measuring cup, just use 2 of any kind of cup or vessel that you have, right? Even if it's a Taco Bell cup or whatever, rinse it out and then put all the way to the top level of your rice and then double that. So if it's 1 cup of rice, then you put 1 cup of this all the way to the top of rice, then put 2 of these in water. So it should be double. Again, I'm using 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of water. I already have this is a 2-cup measure, and I already have my other 2 cups of water in my rice cooker. I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt and a drizzle of oil. Those are optional ingredients. If you don't have them, you'll still get nice fluffy rice. It might not be as seasoned, but I recommend that step. But if you don't have it, it's not necessary. And it's not included in the package directions. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm just gonna put a tiny little bit of cumin, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. All right, it's not been quite 45 minutes, and I'm gonna add some pimento stuffed olive. My first salting, 1 teaspoon of sea salt. I've taken it off heat just to minimize all the fogging camera. All right, I added 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Let me taste it. I'm gonna put it on heat, but I do want you to try these budget-friendly beans. Blowing them a little. Lord have mercy. Beans are just as hot as potatoes. Gosh. Look. This is just as good as any meat dish. See, that's what I can't stand. Please create a fog-free camera, Apple. All right, pull out the bay leaves. I think by the way, 1 tablespoon of vinegar is going to be just enough. You could add any kind of vinegar that you have. I would not necessarily recommend white distilled vinegar, but if that's all you have, add it. It will be perfectly fine. All right, you should always count your bay leaves before you put them in. I know there's 1 pending. I will look for it because I added 2. Sometimes they're hard to find. But now at this point, I'm just gonna cook this maybe another 10 minutes just to get the vinegar incorporated, turn it off, and then we'll plate it up. Black beans fit for a king. If a king ate black beans. Look, even if you're not a bean lover, you will like this. And I'm gonna try one last little bite. It's just wonderful. I don't know what else to say. It's real comfort food. Okay.
Let me do one with the beans by itself. Shoot.
That's what Cuban beans are supposed to taste like. So here's episode 2.
Let me put some Red Rooster on mine.
Red Rooster hot sauce?
Let me try one with the olive.
Olive is an optional ingredient, expensive optional ingredient.
Well, you know how I feel about the olives. I always wish there were more, but cut up so I get one in every bite. Delicious.
Well, there it is. Your budget, your Biden budget black beans. Make this. You could also add like chorizo and other stuff to it. This is just the basics. Enjoy.
Oh, natural.
So I'm filming a video series on budget cooking. So the video is really about these Cuban black beans, and that's it. But I threw a little piece of meat in there for you.
They're good beans.
I would have put avocado on here, but we can't afford it on the budget series. I'm sure you like that.
I wish I had avocado. This is great.
Avocados for the rich.
I love being poor. You make good meals.
Thanks. Do you think that if there wasn't a piece of meat on here, you'd still be able to eat this and enjoy it? You're gonna take a piece like a rich man?
Yeah. People who can afford meat.
It's not easy these days, is it? You can't think, huh? I'm trying to get you to encourage people to eat budget meals.
It's great. Yep.
All right, well, enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.